guys, I'm Andrea, and I want to tell you about how I build relationships with my students. Now, I do want to put the caveat that this is how I do it. It might not work for everyone, and you are going to have to try and figure out what exactly works for you. But I do think that there are some common threads, right? Like, people are people. So if you're good with relationships, classroom relationships are probably also going to come fairly easy to you. It's kind of like learning how to dance. Some people have more rhythm than others. Everyone can probably learn how to dance if they kind of put enough effort into it. But some people are born without rhythms. So if you are that person, that is why I'm making this video. The first thing that you need to do is you need to actually like them. You can't fake it, right? Like, kids are very good at figuring out who's faking it. So the first thing you have to do is find a reason to like them. And some of those Muppets are going to be super annoying and super offensive and just extra love required type kids. And you're going to have to find a way to like them. Like, honestly, in your heart of hearts, like them, or be such a good actor that they can't tell a difference, but they usually can tell a difference. So genuinely liking them is the first step, because honestly, how do you hate somebody who likes you? It's really hard, right? Like, it's super hard to honestly be like, you suck. And the person says back to you, like, you're a delight and I'm so happy you're here today. The second thing that you should do, particularly if you are teaching secondary kids, is don't infantilize them, okay? They are trying so hard to become adults. So you want to talk to them like they are young adults. Have that expectation, and they will usually rise to meet it. The next thing is to apologize when you need to apologize. Maybe you lost your temper. Maybe you were unprepared for class, which will happen. You need to be real with them and let them know, like, hey, I could have done better. That sucked, and that's on me. Even if it's something where, like, you're realizing that your classroom management is not what it should be, right? And that may happen too. So be willing to apologize. The next thing that I make sure to do is I will write home, usually within the first few weeks of class, if there's a kid that I'm like, that kid freaking hates me. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what the vibe is, but I'm going to make it my personal mission to love the crap out of that kid until they like me back. And so far, there's only been a few that at the end of the year, I'm like, yeah, no, they still hate me. And that they're not all going to love you, and that's okay. But what I try and make sure I do in the first couple weeks with those kids is I make it a concerted effort to go out of my way to ask them about themselves, to take an interest in who they are. And usually I try and find a reason to contact home and tell them how awesome their kid is. The power of a positive note home is like, it's amazing. Like, write a note home, write an email home and be like, hey, Johnny's in my class. And guess what? He's a champion. He is a leader in class. That means he never shuts up. He is, find a reason to brag on that kid to the parent, and that way you have the parent on your side. And hopefully you win over the kid, because if the kid likes you, they still might be a little squirrely in class, but they're less likely to pop off against you, right? The next thing would be to write little notes every once in a while, and it doesn't have to be big. You can just put a Post-it note. If you see a kid having a rough day, go up to them, put a Post-it note on their desk saying, like, thinking of you, let me know if there's anything I can do, or taking them aside. And the final thing is, when you are addressing behavioral issues, which will always come up, you take the kid outside. Like, take them outside of the classroom, remove the audience is the biggest thing that I learned that was most effective. Take them outside and immediately start with, hey, are you okay? Because I really like you and I want you to be successful, and I feel like we're not jiving. How can I help? That diffuses 8 out of 10 times. And sometimes kids are still going to pop off. You can't control their behavior, but you can control yours. So those are a couple of tips that I use when I'm trying to build relationships with kids. Hopefully they help. Let me know in the comments if there's anything I should have added.